Tabletop Spotlight, brought to you by Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy. Hey everyone, I'm AdamHarry from Bell Lost Souls with
Evan from Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy.
And we're back with another Tabletop Spotlight. Evan, it's political season. I see you wrote something appropriate.
Super PACS.
Yeah.
If you know your politics, you know what those are. This is the political card game about the game of politics.
Okay.
Is what I think they call it, yeah. So it's going to be a card game. You're trying, I guess, to be elected, and so you have to...
Or get your person elected.
Yeah, exactly. So... Yeah, I'm interested to see it.
Yeah, it is very appropriate for our current time frame and events.
Yes.
Super PACs, again, donate a lot of money to getting advertising for their preferred candidate. So if that's anything
campaign
like that,
yeah.
campaigns, it's going to be good. Let's take a look inside the box of Super PACs. It is Super PACs time. Or is it Super PAC $?
Super PAC $. Super PACs is easier.
Super PACs is easier. We're gonna go with that.
You can tell a lot of the political figures here.
I don't recognize any of them. They all look like caricatures.
Obama, Trump, Hillary.
No. Clearly, this is all made up.
Yeah, all made up. Yeah.
Is that Stan Lee? All right.
Actually, it really looks like Stan Lee.
It does kind of, right?
Yeah.
I thought this is being funny, and then Dick Cheney and some other. Anyway, this is of course the game of politics.
Yes.
The game of politics.
Yes.
So it's, back of the box.
Back of the box right here. Go over what the cards look like.
It's obviously a card game.
Description, stuff like that. Yep. Yeah, you ready to open up?
I think so. Let's do this.
Let's
Let's see what's inside here.
All right, political season.
Oh,
Here we are. Okay.
Oh.
So right off the bat, we have
board.
The board. Looks like.
Let's go and open that up.
So it's a double-sided. No. So
One side.
one side. Looks like that.
Investments.
Yes. Events, cemetery. Okay.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, kind of morbid. Yeah. All right. So that's
now there's investments. Is there retirements? Retirements is the cemetery.
Politicians don't retire.
There you go.
And then we've got the rule book. Doesn't look too long. We'll go over that in a second. All right, what else we got in here?
We've got some
tokens. Campaign buttons.
Yeah, okay.
Buttons.
See what these are real fast. If I can open. Here we go. All right. What do we got here? We've got Scandal. Can't use your leader's superpower.
Oh, they have superpowers.
Ooh. Hey, they do retire. See? Retire.
Oh, retire.
Your leader cannot win elections. We've got Blessed. Your leader's superpower costs 1 less.
Huh.
All right. Investor. Each investment you buy costs 1 less. We've got Smeared. -4 votes.
Wow.
Ouch. Promoted. +4
go.
votes.
There
I like
you
that
go.
one.
First player.
You win election ties. I have a feeling that there's going to be some voting in this game. I don't know why.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
All right, so what do we got? We got 3 separate decks here, and then that's just cardboard. So I'm gonna move that to the side.
Right. Okay. So 3 decks.
I have no idea what's going on, but this looks like we've got a campaign, draw a faction. Got some paparazzi action going on here.
Yes.
Which whatever. And then presidential election. So Evan, I have no idea what any of these cards mean.
How about we look at the rule book?
Let's take a look at the rules first, and we'll come back to these. How about that? All right, so here we have the instructions for Super PACs.
Super PACs.
So initially, this game, I wasn't quite sure what to make of it, but I think it's a little bit more complicated than some of the other games we've done.
Yes,
I mean, it's not that bad. Though.
Political, no. So the first thing it comes up to is describes the cards.
How do we win? Real
Oh,
quick?
I'm sorry. The goal of the game is to have the most power when the game ends. You gain power by adding factions to your coalition, winning elections, and buying investments, which we'll go over here in a second.
Sure.
So first off, there's leaders. So if you want to show that off.
We've got all the leaders here. I want to call something out real quick too.
Yes.
They actually have if you're colorblind,
yes.
they actually have you covered. Each of the different colors has a slightly different location. So you've got, just going to show you here real quick. The green cards have a notch here. The red ones have a notch in the bottom here, and then the blue ones have a notch over there. So even if you're colorblind, you can look at where the notches are.
Yeah,
and
it's very nice.
It's nice. It's a nice touch. I appreciate that. Anyway, back to the leader cards. There's tons of different leaders. Each one of them has a special campaign ability, and then also a what do you want to call that one? A superpower, I think it's called.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So you can use that. You can use that once per round, and it costs megabucks to use.
Yes.
But then you do whatever the instructions say.
And their campaign ability too is what they. You can do it once per turn. They'll go over the turn.
Yeah, we'll go over that real quick.
But There's also factions, real quick. Events are just cards that are random. That you draw one event at the end of the turn. That's the event that happens. Investments.
Yeah, and those investments get you more
money in the
bucks,
future,
which is part of the win conditions.
Yes.
So.
We'll go over game setup. It's not very complex.
Yeah. These tokens don't get passed out initially; they come later.
Yes.
So these do.
All right. So in your turn, there's two things you can do. You can either campaign, which if we saw the leader card,
just look at this.
It's just the thing at the very top. So for the hair piece,
they all have separate names.
Yes.
So, protect the innocent.
Draw a faction and get one mega buck.
Yep.
So that's something you can do.
You could take this guy here. The big talker, his campaign ability is draw 2 faction cards, put one of them on the bottom of the faction deck.
Yes.
And then his superpower football. But that you can have campaign or
you can embezzle, which is just get 2 mega bucks.
Yeah.
So if you don't think your campaign would be worth it, and you just want to get 2 mega bucks, you can just do that.
Or you don't need faction cards.
Yes.
Most of the campaigns are about drawing faction cards.
Faction cards, yeah.
So.
And then the second thing you do your turn is do a main action. So the first thing you can do is exploit. So you can get add a card with these this little human symbol.
Yeah, so there's the exploits symbol there.
Yes.
So these are the factions. There's a bunch of different factions in the game. There's just they're color coordinated and things like that. And they each give you votes, they give you mega bucks, and then they give you manpower basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, so different ones do different things. They usually have some type of effect at the bottom too that happens when they're triggered, and we'll get to that here too. But you can exploit them and add one faction to your coalition area.
Right.
To there. You want to build up your coalition so that you'll have more votes and money and manpower.
Yes. Or you can sneak, which is you can place 1 or 2 factions into your sneak area, which is over here. And at the end of your turn, you're going to flip them over and put in your coalition. And then you can fundraise, which is get mega bucks equal to the total wealth of your coalition. So for this example too, so if we could look at the coalition again, you have the money symbol in the middle right there. So you're gonna add up all the money symbols of all your factions in your coalition. And
you can tell that there's not a lot of money. Some of them have money, but they don't.
Right. But yeah, so you're gonna add up all those money symbols and then
gas.
There you go. And it's 2 money right there. So you can add up those and
but the votes
get
too.
money for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it for that one.
The other big thing too is I was wondering why you would want to put stuff in your sneak zone versus playing it outright.
Right.
When you exploit a faction, it gets added to your coalition and you execute the text. So this one, if you did it just straight up as an exploit, you draw 2 more faction cards.
Okay.
However,
if
you sneak it, you reveal the sneak cards at the end of the round, and you ignore the text at the bottom of the card if it was not exploited. So they just join your faction.
But I guess the plus to it is your opponents can't see what you're doing, and you can do 2 factions at a time.
So if you're trying to spread out, or if you know that the vote's coming up and you want to get some votes, or you want to try to block votes,
which makes sense. Story wise, they're always at the very last minute trying to scramble to get the most votes they can get. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's that. There's sneaking cards. So that just goes over the sneaking, exploiting cards as a surprise.
And there are some surprise cards too,
yes,
so that's another reason you'd want to sneak stuff.
Like for instance, this was
car companies,
and there's a little thing at the end where you get 3 money. Also, each opponent with
the
diamond symbol pays you $1. So
you
can really screw over your opponents too as well.
Yeah, you can mess with people. This is not a friendly game in the sense of
for sure.
You're not just playing by yourself.
And this goes over what fundraising is and whatnot, because that's one of the actions you can do for your main action.
Yeah.
And then this goes over to what your leadership superpower is.
And how those affect everything. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And then events and elections.
Events, of course, you draw an event at the end, and you go through that event. And then very end, how to win the game. The game ends when...
somebody wins the White House.
Won the White House card, which requires 15. Is that people?
Manpower,
yeah. So it's not easy to get, and it'll take you a while to get there. But so here it is. So you add up all the manpower in each of your coalitions, and then you equal
any
it up.
multipliers you have.
Yeah, that's how you win.
Yeah. So this game is a little bit more complex than some of them, but it's it's actually pretty robust.
Yes, for sure. There's
and,
a lot of replayability.
Yeah, for sure. This is actually a pretty good strategy card game. There is some resource management involved. Again, it's got, on top of all that stuff, beside it being actually a good, well-designed game,
right?
The art is fantastic.
Nice little political artwork.
Yeah, it's reminds me very much of like newspaper political.
It kind of looks like they took some artists from like famous political artists and put them together. Yeah,
it's just funny. There's lots of in jokes here. Obviously, if you flip through the candidate pool, they didn't pull any punches. From any of the candidates here.
Yeah. It's very. It doesn't lean towards one side.
No.
Yeah.
It plays it right
makes
down
fun
the
of
middle.
everyone.
It does the South Park approach where it just makes fun of everybody.
Yeah.
So, it looks pretty good. And of course, we didn't look at the megabucks, but that's kind of what the investments are. So, but yeah, that's a pretty neat little game.
Yeah.
I would definitely like to give it a shot. So
totally, I would too.
Let's hop out for a really quick recap. Well, that was Super PACS, so let's go ahead and crunch some numbers really quick.
Yes.
What is the playtime on this one?
It's recommended 30 to 60 minutes.
Okay.
It's a bit of a broad range, but it depends on how many people you're playing with and
how many people can you play with?
2, 3, or 4 players.
Okay, makes
specifically.
sense.
I guess 2 to 4.
2 to 4,
But yeah, so
makes sense because again, with the rules in there and the kind of the card, you don't want to have a ton of people playing this at once. It can get a little confusing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I can see that. And then what, like 14 and up?
14 and up. I mean, it's not a super complex game, but it's not a kid's game for sure.
Yeah, it's got. It's not that the jokes are bad or anything.
Yeah.
It's just they're not going to understand it.
Game mechanic wise, they will also politics wise. They don't want to know who any of those people are. So yeah.
I hope not.
But yeah, so that's Super PACS. It was a Kickstarter funded game.
Okay.
It is made by Tabletop Games.
Cool.
So yeah.
Nice. What's the price point on this one?
$45 in store now.
Nice. Go check it out. This has been another Tabletop Spotlight. I'm AdamHarry from Bell Souls.
I'm Evan from Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy.
Thanks again for watching. Tabletop Spotlight brought to you by Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy. Thanks for watching.